Alright, now we're going to move on to the kayak roll. Now, it's a very important part of paddling the roll. Once you get your roll dialed in, then you're going to get a huge amount of confidence, and all the rivers that you paddle are just going to be that little bit easier to do. Now with this roll, it's actually not too hard to do if you have good instruction. You might actually be able to learn this in 10 minutes flat. Before you start, I want you to practice your hip snap off the front of someone's boat and get into a position where you're confident in doing a hip snap using only one finger. This will really focus your hip snap and make it as good as it can be. After you've got that strong hip snap, it's time to add the paddle. There are three very important parts of the kayak roll: the home base, the setup, and the snap. With your home base, you're going to bring your paddle across to the side of your boat, and the power face is going to be facing up in the air. The reason for this is so when you're upside down, you can skim that paddle across the top of the water and sweep it into the right position it needs to be in. That power face is actually the blade that we're going to get all our power from. You're going to be tucking forwards and not back. The reason for that is so when you tuck forwards, your helmet's going to provide you a little bit more protection. If we lean back, we're actually going to expose our face, so make sure you tuck forwards. When you go over, you want to stay in that home base position. Now, some instructors will say when you're learning your roll for the first time, you always must put your paddle on the left side of your boat. Now, I've found that's not always the case. If you can do your hip snap stronger on your right side, then your paddle is going to stay on the left side for your home base. If you can do your hip snap stronger on your left side, then your paddle is going to be on the right side of your home base. When you're upside down, it's going to be hard to find your right paddle position. So you might want to practice it a few times, either on dry land or with someone in the water. Next up, we move into the setup phase. To do this, all we're doing is an extended high brace position. Alright, now with this setup position, what you're trying to do is get your paddle at a 90 degrees to your boat. And with one hand, you're trying to get that up and behind your butt. We actually refer to that as the thumb in butt position. The other hand, we're trying to get that up and out of the water as well. The reason for that is so we can get our paddle flat on the water. If our paddle blade's facing flat on the water, then we'll be able to snap down and pull that boat upright. By getting this paddle in the correct position, you'll actually have a lot more leverage and there'll be more chance of you getting your boat upright. Now, if you're struggling to actually find this setup position, you might want to put your paddle on the side of the pool or on the side of the river. This will make sure that your power face is facing down, flat on the water. Once you've done that, go over and come up using a high brace. As you're doing this, try and get your other hand up and underneath your butt. You might have to release your hand just slightly to allow it to get up and over the back of the boat. Finally, we're going to do a snap, and we're actually going to pull down on our power face and do a strong hip snap to get upright. As we're doing this, our head's actually going to be attached to the shoulder that we're doing our snap on. Remember to do that head dink and keep that head attached to that shoulder. This will assist you to really get that boat upright.
And it feels alright. This thing called life, it's a mixed up world.
Now, this roll is called a C to C roll. The reason it's called that is because you're making a big C from your head, your body, and your hips, from one side to the other. Now, you start by making a big C on one side of your boat, get your paddle in the correct position, and then snap up, making sure your head's attached to your shoulder.